Hey guys, Scott here with you again. Today we're going to cover everyday carry items. These are the items that will appear in the article on family security that will be published here soon at the Loadout Room. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a closer up look as to what your options are in a more real-time environment. So stay tuned, we're going to zoom in and take a look at all the gear that's necessary and available to you. Stay tuned. Okay guys, here we have all the gear that was discussed in the article that's going to be published here soon. Just kind of want to give you a closer look at it. This is the gear that works for me. May not work for you, but I hope to, through this video, show you the gear that you have accessible to you and to help you better make a decision on what you want to carry. Real quick, the belt. The belt I have here is a Wilderness Systems instructor belt. The one I talked about in the article. It's a very strong belt, 1.5 inches wide. It's very tough. You can squeeze it, put a lot of pressure on it, and the belt does not collapse. That's important for carrying for your holster and your spare mag. You want a belt that's not going to collapse, that's going to distribute that weight to make it more comfortable for you to carry. So I highly recommend either the Wilderness Systems instructor belts, or go to SOE Tactical's website and look at their line of EDC belts. Those are also great options. The holster I choose here is the Galco Trident holster. This one was for its forward Glock 26, but as you can see on this holster, it is open-ended, so I can run both my Glock 26 and Glock 17 in this guy if I choose to do so, depending on where I'm going. Another very important thing you want to look at when you're looking for a holster for concealed carry, you want Kydex. You do not want a leather holster or nylon holster. Those collapse as soon as you draw your gun and makes it extremely difficult to reholster. Always go for Kydex. It's going to last you longer. It's just easier. It's an easier holster to use for concealed carry use. It allows you to reholster the gun one-handed. So definitely look for Kydex. Galco makes good products. This one here has the clip on it. I know there's some debate about clips and belt loops. I've never had a problem with this clip, although you can get loops to put on this holster as well. So again, this is the Galco Trident holster. Look them up online. It's a great holster. I've been carrying it for several years now, and it's very comfortable to carry. Half the time I've got it on and I don't realize I have it on when I get in places sometimes. So it's highly recommended. I've gone through several holsters and this came out on top as the winner. So that's my holster of choice. Also, when it comes to a spare mag, you're going to want a spare mag carrier as well. This is also a Kydex one. This is made by Phobos. It's kind of got a pancake style clip on the end that clips over your belt. It holds the magazine very secure. Holds both Glock 26, Glock 19, and Glock 17 mags. This goes on the 9 o'clock position of my belt. I carry my gun on a 3 o'clock. So again, this is, I've tried several mag pouches and the Phobos came out on top for me as far as carrying my mags. So if you're looking for a good Kydex mag holder, go for Phobos. With that said, let's look at the handgun options we have here. I've got my Glock 26 and my Glock 17. The Glock 26 is my go-to concealed carry gun. That's the one I'm carrying 99.9% of the time. This gun's it's easy to shoot, conceals well. It's not what you would consider a deep concealment gun because of the width. Just the width of the Glocks, they're just not for deep conceal. But again, I've carried this with just a t-shirt on with my Galco holster and nobody's ever noticed or said anything to me, so I don't have any problems with it. I've made a few modifications to the gun. As you can see, I've got the Talon grip material on the handle and on the Pierce grip extension. I've also swapped out the slide release here with an extended slide release. That gives me, it allows me to actuate the slide a little bit better if my hands get wet or if I have gloves on. But this is a great gun. Another thing you're going to want to do, if you do choose to go with the Glock for your concealed carry gun, the sights that come on stock Glocks, they're crap. Get rid of them. What I run on this are the Ameriglo DeFore tactical sights. The rear sight is squared off at a 90-degree angle. That's very important for several reasons. That's going to give you the ability to do single-handed manipulation of the gun. If you have some type of gun failure and you only have the one hand with that 90-degree angle on the sights, you can rack this off of your holster. You can rack it off of your pants pocket, your belt, whatever you have available, and that will allow you to manipulate the gun one-handed if you do have a failure to feed or something, or the gun fails somehow. That's a very important thing to look at for sights. I typically always have gone with Ameriglos. I haven't tried any other sights. Ameriglos has always worked for me. My other gun is my full-size Glock. This is a Glock 17. Again, I've got the Talon grip material on the handle. This stuff is amazing. It gives you a lot more grip than the standard Glock grip. In my opinion, it's better than stippling because it's not a permanent change. I can rip the stuff off if I want to sell the gun. Don't plan on doing that anytime soon. The only other modification I did was add this beaver tail to the gun. It gives you kind of a 1911 feel. It just gives me a better grip, better feel with the gun. This too has Ameriglo sights on it. It came with the Ameriglo sights. It's got squared off in the back. Front sight is a red fiber optic sight, so it makes it really easy to pick up that front sight in a low light condition. The only other modification I made to this was the slide release on this one is a Vickers tactical slide release. It's a little bit more extended than the stock one. But again, it gives you a little bit more purchase there if you've got gloves on or wet hands. But that's the Glock 17. This one, I will carry this in my Galco holster if the venue that I'm going to requires me to stand a lot, or if I've got a coat on. Then I can carry this guy. It's not as uncomfortable standing to carry this. If I'm going to be somewhere where I'm sitting down a lot, then the Glock 26 is going to be the preferred carry. This guy would just be too uncomfortable to carry sitting down somewhere. So all depends on what venue you're going to. That's kind of part of my mindset with it, and how I decide which gun I'm going to carry. Next thing we're going to cover is lights. This here is a Surefire 6PX Defender. This is one of my favorite lights by Surefire. It's got a strike bezel on it. That's one of the things I like to look for. You can see there. Strike bezel's nice. If the bad guy gets a little bit too close to you, you can inflict a little pain on him with that. It's not a bad thing. Another feature of this flashlight that I think is outstanding is this light is either on or off. You don't have modes you've got to flip through to get to the correct output that you want. A lot of lights will have 2 or 3 different modes and a strobe, and this one doesn't. It's either on or it's off. In a high stress environment, that's what you're going to want. You're going to want simple. You're going to want that light on now. What I've also added to this flashlight is a Raven Concealment Systems clip. That allows me to clip this flashlight to my pocket. I will normally carry this knife in my back pocket if I am carrying it, just because it is a little bit of a bigger light. It doesn't really carry too well in the front pockets, but it does carry very well in the rear pocket. This is the knife, or this is the flashlight that goes with me if I'm going, especially if I'm going to a movie theater. With some of the active shooter situations we've seen out there, just something as simple as having a good high lumen flashlight could deter the attackers. The other flashlight I have is on my actually on my keyring set here, which I discussed in the article. And this is it, guys. This is all I have on my keyring. Keys and a flashlight. The light I choose to carry here is the Princeton Tech Blast. It takes 2 AAA batteries. It's waterproof. It's twist on, off. It's a very nice flashlight. It's very tough. Another feature of the light is it has a clip there at the top. What that allows you to do is clip it to a baseball cap or a hat if you're wearing it, and give you hands free. It's almost like wearing a headlamp. So that's very handy to have if you're stuck in the dark and having to change a tire or do something where you need both hands. This light would excel at that, and it's cheap. This isn't cheap, but it's under $100. Getting a Surefire for under $100, it's well worth the money. I think this Princeton Tech Blast cost me probably, I don't know, 15-20 bucks. So both lights, for $100 you can get a Surefire light in this guy and you're good to go. Another thing I mentioned is comms. Everybody's got an iPhone these days. iPhone 5S is what I have right now. Again, I'm using Talon grit material on this guy. This material is awesome stuff. You guys need to check these guys out. I'll put a link in the video. I would just Google Talon gun grips. They have some amazing stuff. Knives. This can be a little bit overwhelming for some people, so here are some options we have. And we'll go through these one at a time. This here is an Emerson Commander, full-size Emerson Commander. I've got the skull clip on mine just because I like skulls. Got the wave feature on the Emerson. This is the full-size Commander. It's a bigger knife, but it's a workhorse, and it's not going to fail you. This knife was originally developed for an Army SEER group. After some SEALs saw it, they made requested changes to it through Emerson, and this became the preferred carry for a lot of SEAL teams. It's kind of one of their iconic knives, next to their CQC7, but I consider this a very good everyday carry knife. It's got the recurve blade on it. It's going to be very nice for slicing, cutting, stabbing, jabbing, whatever. It's a very good durable knife, and it's simple. It's also big enough that you can hold it in your hand and you still got some purchase there on the outside for a striking device if you need to use it as a blunt striking tool. Next up was the Ratworks MRX knife, which I've reviewed. This is about the same size as the Commander. This is a chain-driven auto knife. You've got the deployment button there. This knife is, bar none, one of the toughest knives I've ever handled. I've been carrying this for a couple weeks now, testing it out, and it's an amazing knife. Check out my article and video on this guy. It's just one heck of a knife. It's a beast. Made by Ratworks. It's their MRX. It's their full-size MRX. It's an auto knife. So check the laws, check your local laws, your state laws, if you're interested in getting one of these, just to make sure you stay legal. But this is, right now, this is my preferred carry knife that I've got on me every day. Next we've got the, this is a Ratworks knife, MRX. This is their mini version. It's also an auto, very quick. There's a closer look at it. It's got all the same features as the full-size MRX knife, just in a smaller package. This would be a very good option for executives or somebody on an executive protection detail to use. That's small, but this thing is strong, stout, and it's not going to fail. Again, I did an article and video review on this, so you can look those up as well at the Loadout Room. Last but not least is the SOG Mini Vulcan. This is my fallback knife. If I'm not carrying the Ratworks, this is the guy I'm carrying. It's considered their mini knife, but again, I can hold this thing. You get a full hand purchase on it. It deploys pretty fast. It's a nice looking blade, and it's just a great everyday carry knife. I've cut a lot of stuff with this, and it's good. And again, for a mini knife, you're getting a full grip on that, as you can see. So that's, for under $100, this is a great EDC knife. It's one thing you really don't want to skip on. You want to get yourself a decent knife. I know guys that get knives, once the blades get dull, they go buy another knife. Get something good, get some quality gear. As I said in the article, spend once and cry once. This is under $100. These two knives here are, you're going to pay a little bit more for. The Ratworks MRX Mini is around $283. Full size MRX is about $325. Emerson Commander is about $220. So there's all the gear in a nutshell. You got your knives, your belt, your holster, your mag pouch, lights. You got your comms, and last but not least, you've got your firearms. So that's everything in a nutshell, guys, as far as concealed carry goes. Just to give you a closer look as far as what we had discussed in the article. See you guys in the next one. Thanks.